Hello, family. Hello. This is Shadow Work Sessions tonight, so I'm waiting on y'all to get in here. Looks like it just went live, right? So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes for you guys to come in before we get started. So tonight we have an actual topic. We have a topic tonight, and it's just based off of how everybody's pretty much been feeling, or you may have not been feeling this way, and there may have been somebody around you feeling this way. But we're going to talk about it tonight, family. And the main thing we're going to talk about today is going to be about being emotionally drained. Okay. And I'm just going to leave this here until you guys start flowing in. And we're going to talk about being emotionally drained and how do you feel. I do have a presentation. And we're just going to talk through it. You know how we do over here on Shadow Work Sessions. I'm playing it. Hey, family. Hey. Come on into the room, okay? Tonight we have a topic for Shadow Work Sessions at 6:30. I actually have moved some things around in my living room, so now I have my desk on a whole different wall, so I shouldn't have any distractions tonight, and yes, it'd be pretty much quiet over here. So, but yes, we do have a topic tonight, and we're just going to talk through it, look at some of the slides, and you guys can comment in the comment section, and then I'm just going to go through it, chit chat about it, in reference of how I've been feeling, and you guys can put how you've been feeling, and we'll go from there. I'm sorry, I just ate, family. And I do have my body armor with me tonight to have some hydration. But it's been so many people. The reason why this is a topic and I decided to deep dive on it is because of how I've been feeling, how a lot of people been feeling in the collective. And, not even from just, the whole election thing, right? Everybody is all drained and mentally, of what they wanted or maybe not wanted. And maybe even the pressures from other people around them, right? And then some people are just pressured or emotionally drained because of the chaotic environments that we have been living in anyway, right? Because we have, hey AJ, we've been living in a very chaotic environment where everybody is upset, everybody is tested, everybody is going through something mentally, family, right? So that's hence why I wanted to do the topic of being emotionally drained, right? Where, you'll hear people say it on TV, even in your families, even you may just say, I'm just tired of being tired, right? And all of that's to say, right? So I want to talk about it tonight. So I made us a presentation about it. You guys share in the comment section. How do you feel? Do you feel emotionally drained? Do you feel like it's a lot that you're having to take in? Do you feel that you've been able to sit with yourself, sit with your emotions? Do you feel that you've taken the time out to really, listen to yourself? What is it? What are you feeling at this time? And so I want you guys to really think about that. I feel wonderful, inspired, and capable. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you feel that way, and that's good. That's how we want to feel, but not all the time. And not everybody feels that way, A lot of people are having a lot of mental issues right now. And not even only just mental issues in reference of, something that's, something that's not directly affected them, so to say, But some people are feeling that way because of others, because remember, your external affects your internal, right? And vice versa, right? So these are the things. So I'm gonna go ahead and move into, because it's 5 minutes after. So I'm gonna go ahead and move into the spread, okay, into the presentation. So family, hold on, let's see. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, so that's why I just wanted to talk to you guys at the beginning to talk about, how do you feel? Are you feeling? I put the water there because water is the element of Yeah, see, yeah, I'm emotionally drained, and I need to find an outlet. Constantly working is not cutting it, right? Because see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not just about the things that's going on in reference of, the chaotic world that we live in. Sometimes it's directly what you're going through that's draining, such as like working too much, such as like your family issues, such as like your children issues, such as like your love issues, such as like your money issues, bill issues, everything just emotionally being drained, right? You just drained after a while. And I understand this too. I understand this too, love, in reference of feeling that way, right? So I don't know why it came out like that word. I guess because I spaced it. So what does it mean to be emotionally drained? I always have to start out with the explanation, because we need to truly know. In therapy, they bring this to the forefront, right? So that's where I got it from, citing my sources from Choosing Therapy. I like to get a lot of things from them because, therapy is a good thing. We never shy away from that, right? But shadow work sessions is hand in hand with that as well. So what is emotional exhaustion, which is the same as saying emotionally drained, right? Hey, Chrissy. Emotional exhaustion is a cluster of distressing symptoms that develop beneath the weight of chronic and toxic stress. Okay. So we know chronic is like a long-term stress, something that's been making you emotionally drained for a while. Kind of like how with Sandy was saying that she is emotionally drained because of work. You know what I'm saying? And so that's to be understood, and I understand that. And that's a chronic one. But like a toxic stress also, and then if the work environment is toxic, and it's been chronic too, then you have two in one to make you extremely emotionally exhausted. Hey, family. So, so these are the things, family. Anyone else getting in and out? Okay. It's like cutting off, is it? Let me know, family, if you guys can hear and see me on the live, because I'm in a different place in my house now, so the internet looks stable. So I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so prolonged periods of overwhelm stemming from personal, family, like I said, the work-oriented conflicts can take a massive toll. So this is what this is saying to you, is it can take a major toll on your mind, your body, and your soul, family. Okay. So eventually emotional exhaustion can cause difficulties, okay, leaving many feelings detached and unable to perform activities. So these are the things. This is kind of goes back to what we were talking about, how being, emotionally exhausted, you kind of want to just give up on things. You know what I'm saying? And sooner or later, that can weigh on you. You start to maybe detach, like it said, maybe even detaching from your things that you like to do, the things that you normally would be doing, even from family, from your lover, not spending time with people because you are tired, you know what I'm saying? Because of those emotions start affecting your body. Remember, we talked about that on shadow work sessions, how your emotion can affect certain parts of your body, you know? And so these are the things. Sooner or later, it'll start weighing you down. Okay. So we have to work on this. We have to acknowledge it. Okay. So that's the reason of knowing exactly what it is, to be able to acknowledge it first. Right. So this I put here because it's like sometimes it just does not go away. Okay. Sorry, it cut out my does. Okay. Um, okay, good, Chrissy. um, and sometimes, family, you are so emotionally drained that even sleep does not do anything. You can wake up, go to sleep, wake up, and still be tired, and it just doesn't go away. Sometimes you have to be able to recognize being drained emotionally. Sometimes you may feel that it is just, your mind that's just going, 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 or you may feel like it's like normal. Sometimes we get normalized to it. You know what I'm saying? And you got to recognize these things. That's why I put these on here. And I put a lot of water in the background because this is a water element that you're going through, right? So how do we combat that? We combat it with other elements, you see? Because remember, water is the emotional element. So we have to combat it with things that can help with other elements, such as, working with spiritual things, right? Because spirit is another element that people always forget about. Working with fire, working with air, right? All these things, working with the earth elements, getting grounded, right? So these are the things, but these are some things that I want you to recognize. So the main thing I want to also get into is that sometimes the best thing you can do is not to think about it, right? Not to think, not to wonder, not to imagine or obsess about certain things, but to just breathe. And we're going to talk about some breathing techniques too, because a lot of the times when we do get overly stimulated, overwhelmed, right? Um, it's about us being emotionally strong throughout it all, family, right? Hey, family. Hold on. Let me see. I'm sorry, family. Okay, there it go. So we can see the whole thing because it was cutting it off. But being emotionally strong doesn't mean that we should ignore our feelings and pretend that they don't exist. See, a lot of us, we may get into that where sometimes it's like, okay, yes, we know to breathe and have faith in that everything will work out for the best. But sometimes we have to acknowledge what we're going through. And sometimes when we're extra strong or we've been through these major things for a while now, and it may seem like, you know, we can take on a lot. Sometimes you got to recognize that it's not going any place like this. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, family. Let me get it up. Where it's not going any place. It's like it just doesn't go away. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, what you say, Chrissy? That's my hubby problem. He thinks millions of things. Something happened. He thinks of extreme outcome. Yeah, but that's because he's emotionally going through some things in his mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's because of tragic traumas that he hasn't healed from. Because those things that trigger those extreme outcomes to people, that's because they haven't healed from those things. So it's still some lingering aspect of him needing to heal, you see? And a lot of us have that, right? Um, we have that from like inner child. So it may be something that, he needs to tap back into, maybe even childhood memories that like, let's just say, okay, let's say, hey, Tantalus, let's say, see, for me, if I can't fix this problem right now, it will be out of my mind until I can sit or find a solution. Yeah, but that's what this is about too. Because sometimes you so emotionally drained where you have all these issues and you just feeling drained. You feel like you just can't take it any longer, right? You try to sleep it off. You try to do things to take it out of your mind. You try to do things to like take it away where you avoidance. Okay, that's really what I'm trying to say. It's really like avoidance. But in actuality, you have to face it. You know what I'm saying? You have to face it. So this is overcoming emotional exhaustion. Yes, but it's also some specific things that I'm going to talk about as well that's going to help us through it. But this is just, to show you that, yes, emotionally strong people embrace their pain. And most of us think like this. Sometimes best thing you can do is just not think, not wonder, So I wanted to show how some people overcome it, the ones that are strong, but then sometimes they still have that lingering. I know from experience because, we tolerate it, we try to grieve it, and then after a while, we use that energy to move forward. It's kind of like the alchemy aspect of things, right? But some of it is still lingering because you still have some things that may be still functioning incorrectly in your living conditions or in reference of you healing. Because remember, you're not totally always healed. It's just healing is a process, right? Because life gonna keep life, honey, right? So these are the things. So emotionally coping when drained. These are the things that we need to discuss. I got this in reference of choosing therapy or choosing stress. Choosing therapy is the name of it, right? So these are some of the things that they tell you in reference of how to practice emotional focus coping. Like a lot of us talk about how we go through things, but we don't really talk about what we can do and how it'll benefit us, right? So I wanted to incorporate this for us as well, right? So the main first screen that I wanted to talk about, let's see what y'all talking about. I'm normally that way. I'm working on it though. I have to remind myself that I'm thinking irrationally and tell myself I affirmations. Yes, and affirmations is a good coping mechanism. We're going to talk about that too. God's love and you stress yourself most times for nothing. True. A lot of us do that. I know I'm like that, but that's also a part of our human experience, right? That's good. You recognize it though. Right. Boom, Chrissy. That's the part of acceptance, of recognizing it. And now is the time to be able to cope with it, right? Yeah. I know I do, Chrissy. It's like if you expect the worst scenario, you won't take. Yeah, I'm like that too when it happens. But that's a traumatic mechanism, pretty much a technique for us to have a guard up. It's kind of like you putting your arms up so when you get hit, it won't hurt. But why are you being hit still? That's like abuse. That's like trying to that's kind of like abuse to yourself, like, to doing that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, we shouldn't be going through that. We're going to go through it, but we got to find another way in reference of throwing our hands up and trying to shield ourselves, right? But coping with it and knowing how to. So these are the things that I'm bringing so we can get through this, okay? Right, Chrissy, unnecessary stress and drama movies playing in my head. Yeah, wonder how much this past life is too. Right. And it does. It has a lot to do with our past life. We was just talking about that. Your past life is why you're going through this trauma in this lifetime. But now is a way you have to break those generational curses by acknowledging the emotional things that you're going through, right? And why you're going through them. And is this something that is a repeating cycle? Right? Then learn how to break that generational curse and how to cope with it from here on out. But it's not to say that you're not going to go through these emotions, family. Some people feel like they're not going to have any of these emotions, but you will, Traumas of past life, yes. Goes back to the previous shadow work session, speaking on having to be in control. Yes, Tantalus. Yes, sis. Yes. And here is some more of those techniques. Because remember, family, like Tangela said, we talked about this before in shadow work sessions about having control over your emotions. And here is some of those coping mechanisms, okay? Journaling, going for a walk. I done started doing that, family. Going for a walk is helping me a lot. I'm just here to tell you I'm a witness, okay? Talking with a friend. I did that today while walking, which was good to release it. Listening to music. Y'all know I've listened to my music. Y'all know I listen to my music, okay? Meditation. Meditation and prayer. Y'all already know, okay? Meditation and prayer, okay? Drawing or art. We talked about this as well on shadow work sessions before, when we talk about the going back to the inner child. Get you some crayons, get you some, I got some in my desk that I just found from the other day, family. And I'm going to use these because we're going to do our vision board soon. The colored pencils, right? So the colored pencils, get you something that you used to like to do when you was a child, and do it, family. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you, just because you an adult, it's something to help you cope. Okay. And guided imagery. Also, guided meditation. Deep breathing is the main one that I want you guys to lock into, because the deep breathing has been helping me. I've been doing that more, family. And movement. Move. I had to get up, get out, right? Start moving around. Because if you don't, that emotionally drained, exhaustion, all of that's going to start making your mind go in a whole nother direction that it's not supposed to, family. And that's how people wind up allowing themselves to unalive themselves. It's easy when you're not in the right frame of mind. And that comes by these things, by not being able to cope with this emotional exhaustion. So I wanted to bring this to the forefront for you guys, all right? Let's see what y'all saying. Just out here doing ourselves real bad, knowing we can shift our realities, right? Yes. And see, I always been terrified of going to jail, right? Chrissy always coming with the joke. She's a so no speeding because I don't want to go to jail. Right, sis. Right. Exactly. Yes. I need to get artistic. Can't wait starting in December. Yes. Vision board. Yes. Because Chrissy, you know how I do my vision board. We're gonna have one. I think I might do it for Patreon. So Patreon, and I'm not sure, I may have did it for Patreon that one year or last year. But anyways, we do the vision board here. You go buy your supplies and we all congregate, and I'm going to do it on Zoom. And you'll be able to put the Zoom on you, and each one of us will be able to see each other, make our own vision board in our sacred space. So we're going to be doing our new vision boards for 2025 right here. Okay. So we're going to get that done. All right. Chrissy, no, because she was at my last one. We need to do it live Zoom again. Yes, there she go. Right. We will, Chrissy. It's coming. Yep. And this time I'm giving away items. I already got the items that I'm going to give away. So be there or be square. Okay. Poetry is something I did as a young jit, and I haven't done it in a complete. You need to get back to it. The things that you guys have been putting off and, did in the past, try to get back in the groove of things. You see, try to get back into some things that you used to do before that you really enjoyed, that maybe you just haven't had the chance to do. Or maybe you, like how Miss Sandy was saying, she works so much, she needs time off. Well, now is the time for you to start figuring out exactly which way you can go. Maybe cut out some hours or change some things, move a day around, take a day for yourself. Because that's why you're feeling emotionally drained. You're draining yourself from the time that you're no longer spending with yourself and with your family, right? By work. So these are the things, okay? The benefits, though, of doing these things, family, is being better able to emotionally regulate, reduce toxic stress. Because anything toxic is not serving your highest good, family. And it helps you to be more present in the moment, allow you for clearer thinking so you can gain clarity. Because when you all muster down with all your emotions and you just emotionally exhausted, family, you don't even want to think. Okay. So you then for sure can't think clearly. Okay. And it reduces negative emotions and allows for a healthy emotional expression. Yeah, because you can't express yourself emotionally if you're not healthy mentally. You see. So, and in a prime example is that I just did his reading was the Ray J reading. Go back on here, family, and look in the celebrity readings. Now you can tell he's coming out. He's having all these manic situations, and I've seen it in his spread. He is going to have all of these things is because he's emotionally being taxed. He has toxic stress. See, because when you do toxic things, sometimes that stress can come back on you. That's another form of karma. Okay, because remember, that's the law of cause and effect. What have you caused to affect yourself to feel this way? Right? Goes back to the universal laws. So mental stress is happening amongst the people. Okay, so here's some effective techniques in the way to recognize. So I wanted to start with the way to recognize first, family, which is all about the things that can bring on anxiety, and also in yourself and in others, because that's what I want you guys to understand. Not all the time, you may feel like it's not you going through no emotional exhaustion or no stress or nothing like that, but it's somebody outside of you, or it could be somebody that's in your own home, or it could be somebody projecting that on you, where next week you may feel like this. So we all gonna go through it, whether you're going through it now, in the past, or in the future. So the way to recognize it is these things of overthinking. Okay, I know I do that all the time. Okay, I'm guilty. All right. Avoidance. Now, this is one of the ones I just was talking about. Avoidance. Okay, sweating. Now, don't mean menopause. Okay, it means sweating from being under pressure. Okay. Stomach issues. Yes, because I told you guys your emotions start in your next brain, which would be, or your second brain, they call it, which is your stomach. Okay. So a lot of times that's why they say the butterflies be in your stomach when it's a love emotion, or you may feel sick on the stomach when something bad happens, or your stomach may start hurting when you get that overwhelming emotion, right? These are all things, family, but you have to be able to recognize it, because not only does these things happen in reference of, just situations, right, of life, but this is all attached to your emotions, and you feeling emotionally drained, and your mind being emotionally exhausted. Okay, panic attacks, and some people don't even know when they're having panic attacks. Okay, but you got to be able to recognize it, because headaches is another one of them. Rapid heartbeat, insomnia, where you can't sleep at night, you up all night long because your mind racing, right? Memory issues, can't remember things, trouble breathing, constant worrying, lack of patience, needing reassurance all the time, procrastination. All of these things are anxiety-filled things that are because of your exhaustion of your emotions being to the top. Okay. My stomach was cramping so bad last week, of pain I never felt, but I think someone tried to send something my way. I sent it back though. Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. Yes, that's a good one, Chrissy. Yeah. Get back to this writing and see what comes to you. Yeah. Okay, so how to be mentally strong throughout all these things that you may recognize, right? So some techniques that I want to throw out here, just so you guys can understand and how you can grasp and start to realize, okay, I think I have multiple of these. So what can I do to kind of strengthen myself, get myself back up, raise my vibrations, right? Well, the first thing first I want to say is the affirmations, like my good sis AJ was saying, right? Speaking positive affirmations over your life. Yeah, that's definitely a stressor right there. Every day, yeah, that's a chronic stress. Mhm. You must take heed. Mhm. So the positive affirmations you need to be speaking over your life, right? Meditation to connect to a higher source and your higher self. Prayer to connect with the Most High, right? And breathing. Okay, and we're going to talk about the breathing techniques. But not only that, here's some more things. Don't fear alone time. So that's being able to be alone, because a lot of people, it's like they have to have somebody around them all the time. I can't stand that. I love to be alone. That's just me, and sometimes you need that, especially as mothers. You need time alone. Okay, because I know having little children, having young kids, it can definitely bring emotional exhaustion. Okay, because you always have that extra person you have to think about, you have to worry about, you have to make sure that they're okay. But sometimes you're going to have to allow somebody else to maybe look out for the baby or the child, if possible, and take, if it ain't nothing but 30 minutes, just don't fear being alone. Okay, and don't dwell on the past. That's one of the main things. Don't dwell on the past. Don't feel the world owes you. Don't expect immediate results. Don't worry about pleasing everyone. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. I know these sound very abrupt, but these is how you can train your mind to be mentally strong again. Okay. Sometimes we dwell into a little too much of the victimized mentality, you know. Don't waste energy on things you can't control. Now, number 7 is the main thing that a lot of people need to understand. And I use that as a message to those that were upset about all these things happening in the collective this past week, right? And I told them, don't waste your energy on things you can't control. It is a waste of your time. And I sent them to that serenity prayer, right? That we did on the day of the election. We did the serenity prayer all together. It's here on the channel if you want to go back and watch that, where we did burn ancestor money and connect it with the Most High, right? So I want you guys to take that away in reference of the main thing in reference of coping with everything is you cannot waste energy on things you can't control. Some things are just out of your control, family. All right. And don't let others influence your emotions. Okay. Don't resent on other people's successes. Okay. Because what's for you is for you. Because jealousy and envy those are the worst emotions that can bring a lot of chaos in your life. Don't shy away from responsibilities either, family. Okay. And don't give up after the first failure. That's something we have to always, because you can get mentally exhausted even by trying and trying and trying. And then you go take the test and say you failed. Then you all distraught, but you can't give up on yourself. You got to continue to put yourself back in the fight. And I have to reiterate that to myself sometimes, and don't fear taking calculated risks. But the main word in that is calculated, which means strategically taking something and leaning on faith, okay, with the risk. So that means dependent on God, okay, when it comes to risk. That's what I will say. All right. Now breathe to ground yourself. All right. Because sometimes in our mind, this is what we're thinking. I know this is what you may feel. I know you're tired. I know you're physically and emotionally drained, but you have to keep going. Oh, my ear is ringing. Oh, the answers is coming through. It's loud too. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, family. Okay. So, So yeah, that's why I said like a little print, like how it would be with your thoughts, right? And so yeah, right? I mean, loud, Christy. So you need to know, you know what I'm saying, how to deal with this. And sometimes it's about just sitting and breathing, family. So I put these three, wait a minute, let me go back. I put these 3 techniques in here, family, for us, because I've been trying each one, okay? And they pretty much are pretty good. I want you to maybe snap a screenshot of this or come back to this, write them down, and you can even go to YouTube and put them into YouTube and watch like people teach you how to do them and stuff like that. Because I'm not going to get into doing them full-fledged here, but I wanted you to recognize that there are different techniques to breathing, to grounding yourself, right? Through anxiety. It's like breath techniques that you can practice anywhere. You could be at your desk at work, you know what I'm saying? And you like, you know what? I'm going through this stressful day. Let me just get somewhere and breathe. Because I've done that before, like been on a job and needed time away where I can just breathe. And so I might step into one of those conference rooms where ain't nobody in there, and I just get in there and I just do the measured breaths where I just turn your neck and move your body and, do a sound count in your head in reference of breathing through the anxiety that you're going through. That's a part of grounding yourself, family. Yeah. Yes, I'm trying to breathe better, realize at times not breathing like supposed to. Yes. And here's some of the techniques that can help you, sis. If you breathe in slowly through your nose and count to 4. And keep your shoulders down and allow your stomach to expand. You breathe in, hold the breath for a moment. Now release your breath slowly and smoothly as you count to 7. So it's kind of like a technique of 4 when you're coming in, and then slowly releasing at 7. Right? And if you do the numberings in your head, it'll help you, you know what I'm saying? But then you get used to it, and then it becomes a technique of measured breath that you can use when you're in stress, or even to teach somebody else, family. Because sometimes it's about each one teach one. Maybe this may not be for you. Maybe it's about you helping somebody else that may be going through something emotionally. Right. It do. Right, Chrissy. Absolutely, sis. Yes. Exactly. Me neither. I had to teach myself. I was never taught either. And you know what? It actually was, it did sound dumb at first, but then when I decided to start doing it, it helped me in a lot of ways to calm down. Because see, I was one of those people where it was like I needed help anger management wise, where I would just be upset and angry and I would cuss people out, you know what I'm saying? I would go off, you know what I'm saying? And so the breathing techniques have helped me a lot over time, right? But sometimes, family, yes, this may not even be in your mind, right? But it takes time to control yourself, to control your emotions. That's what Tension was talking about, how we've talked about that in other shadow work sessions, because I have to keep reminding y'all, because I have to keep reminding myself. See, my things that I bring here in reference to shadow work sessions is all about experiences that I've been going through as well. So I'll never share anything or give shadow work sessions in reference of something that life hasn't taught me. Because see, life is the best teacher. See, not always books, right? So I know for a fact that the breathing techniques will help you. Okay, so the bumblebee breath, close your throat slightly so you can hear from your breath when you breathe in, and cover your ears with your thumbs and your eyes with your fingers, and keep your lips closed lightly and your teeth slightly apart with your jaw relaxed. Breathe out slowly, making a low humming sound, and make your exhalation long and smooth. Now you could try that one. I don't try that one, but you could try that one if you would like. Okay. It's a lot with that one. I normally do the measured breath, but I like all 3 of these if you want to use it. Okay. So the belly breath, the belly breathing is breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose. And I've done this one, and your stomach should expand. Yes. And exhale slowly through your mouth as you blow air out. Yes. Purse your lips slightly and keep your jaw and tongue relaxed. You may hear a soft whistling sound as you exhale. So that one's basically like you just breathing in a strong one, and you just, like breathing it out. That's that so most of us do that one anyway, in the belly breathing, when your stomach goes. Christopher, oh no, right, the big bumblebee breath. Right, that's a whole lot of work. You got to cover your mouth, I ain't got no time for that. By the time I just need the belly breathing or either the measured breath. So take one of them 2 if you like. But if you like to do the bumblebee breath, hey, So yes, family, these are the breathing techniques. Yeah, they're giving the breath. Yeah, that bumblebee. Do these to calm down. So that's what it's called before I pop off. Correct. There you go, sis. Exactly. Okay. So Tasha's making some good points here to do these before you pop off. Okay. to calm your nerves, to help you control your emotions, to make you accountable of what's going to happen after it. So you can have a little time to think, okay? Whether you want to go to jail or you want to be at home. Okay. Sometimes it be like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but no, family. I mean, this is mainly so you can help yourself through these exhaustion periods, right? So you can help yourself when it is trauma that you're up against. You can help yourself when you do feel emotionally drained, family, because it's a lot of things that's making us feel emotionally drained in our day-to-day life, okay? And I just want you to be prepared, not scared, but prepared and ready for things when things are to happen, especially on your spiritual walk. It's about you taking accountability and then taking action. Don't get the information and then don't utilize it, right? Because that's like insanity, okay? And that's what they say, works is dead if you don't put, no, faith is dead if you don't put works behind it or something like that. You know what I'm trying to say, okay? Right. So, and yeah, family, so this is it. It's like let go and let God. See, the water is there in reference of the emotions, right? You don't always need the plan. Okay. Some of us are like that, where you feel like you got to always plan something out. You got to always have something, put this together or do this and do that. And that stuff can drain you. Sometimes you got to just let stuff go. You just got to go with the flow. Remember, we got that in our not shadow word system. Daily message this morning is flow. Ancestors say you got to go with the ebbs and the flows, ups and the downs. Sometimes you just need to breathe. And that goes back to what we just went through, right? And trust. See, that's another thing. Trusting is your faith, and it's going to be tested at all times. That's the universe, and that's the Most High trying to see how faithful are you to yourself first, right? So you just have to trust, and sometimes we got to be reminded of that daily. I know I do sometimes too, family, because it's hard. Because the things in your past will trigger you to not feel like you can trust something or someone, right? But we have to let go and see what happens. And let go and let God, So these are the things, family, and this is the main thing I wanted to discuss with you guys tonight in reference of how do you feel? How do you feel? Are you emotionally drained? Or are you feeling like you can really control your emotions and you can really, really try to do some things to help you cope? But in actuality, you really need to understand and know what it is to truly be emotionally exhausted and emotionally drained. So take this shadow work sessions, come back to it. That's definitely has to down most of it. I trust everyone until they do something right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But take this shadow work sessions about being emotionally drained, family, and understand that sometimes it's not going to just go away by you just doing one of those coping mechanisms or you just being in avoidance of something. Sometimes you're going to have to sit with it. Okay? Because it may not go away, even if you go to sleep. That's why I put this in here. And sometimes it's going to be you fighting to overcome. Are you controlling our emotions or suppressing them? Right? Exactly. That's the question. You shouldn't suppress them. You should be controlling them. And that's the part of overcoming that exhaustion. Because sometimes, just like I showed earlier, this is how we truly be trying to do things, right? Sometimes the best thing we think, this is how we think. Sometimes the best thing we do, this is suppressing it. Okay. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not think, not wonder, not imagine, not obsess, just breathe and have, well, this part down here is not, but this is mainly what I was saying, right? When we just try to like avoid it and we try to suppress it by not thinking, not wondering. But what you really should do is just breathe and have faith, right? But then it goes back to emotionally strong people embrace their pain too. So are you embracing your pain? Because is that a form of controlling your emotions? Yes. Also, although some people may say that embracing your pain is really like something that most humans don't try to do because we don't like pain, right? That's like a kickback, right? When you get into pain, you try to what? Heal it, right? Most of the time. But sometimes you got to go through that pain. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Because that's what it says here. Look, you tolerate it. You grieve it. That's sitting in that pain. And then after a while, right? After you sit in it, after you tolerate it, after you grieve it, then you use the energy to move forward in a positive way. That's how you overcome, right? And then, of course, utilizing all these different techniques. So no, don't suppress it. Go through it, right? Don't suppress it. Face it and go through it. And then one day something will change. Trust me, it will. There will be a light bulb that goes off, or there will be something that pushes you that makes you change. You know? I mean, it's balance. We taught to suppress our feelings. I know I was. So constant working on that. Me too. That's why I had to face it. But the thing of it is, of why we suppress it and what we're taught to suppress is because a lot of people don't want to acknowledge it and accept it. Like all these things that I showed you guys here, a lot of us don't want to accept and acknowledge that this could be why we're really going through anxiety, or we're really going through depression, or we're really exhausted. A lot of people just go through these things and carry on because that's what we've been taught. Like she was saying, it's suppressing it, suppressing all these feelings when you should face it. Because I know, like me, procrastination, needing a reassurance, constant worrying, right? I try to ask myself why I'm feeling this way. Most of the time, it's not that actual situation, but how it reminds you of a previous situation that made you feel a way you didn't like. Yes. Yeah. Because you know what the saying is, and you'd be like, someone will forget you, but no, someone may, or somebody, or a situation you may put out of your mind, but you'll never forget how somebody treated you or how you was treated, right? So that's the same thing on what you're saying. And yeah, that's absolutely correct, sis. Hey, Ebony. So a lot of times you definitely have to, and you know what? Those are triggers. You know what I'm saying? Those are nothing but triggers, right? Because when you said that, Tantalus, that makes a lot of sense, because it's definitely triggers, because it's like we try to ask ourselves, you know, why we are feeling that way. And that's good that you do that, because then you're acknowledging that you're feeling some type of way for a reason. So you're acknowledging it. So that's the first positive thing that you're doing. And you're recognizing that the way that you feel is because it reminds you of something from the past. And that's why you're feeling that way. And that's what it says here. Don't dwell on the past. But this is about being mentally strong. So that past thought and that past memory has been embedded in your mind. So whenever something emotionally happens like that again, it triggers you, because you're still dwelling and you're still thinking about that past event, when in actuality, you haven't healed from that past situation. And you know what we do? We just pile it on until we just break emotionally. So that's a great way of acknowledging that sometimes we aren't mentally strong and sometimes we do suppress our feelings, but we have to come out of that and we have to control our emotions and regain our mental strength, you see. And that is a major reason we miss out on things like love. Yes, that is a big reason, because we put that guard up. We put those guards up. We feel like, how can we allow love in when we ain't even got to that point of loving and truly trusting ourselves? Because we're a reflection of what we allow in our space, family. See? So yes, some of it is a flaw within. So we have to shift our mindset. And that's why this is the most effective technique. And to be able to recognize, the most effective technique is for you to be able to mentally regain your strength by not dwelling on the past, by healing from the past. And don't feel, these things that the world owes you. Don't expect results to be immediate, because you're not going to heal immediately. Don't worry about pleasing everyone. Don't waste your time feeling sorry for yourself or for others. I'm gonna say that, right? To the extreme, and don't waste energy on things you can't control. That's the main one. Number 7 is the biggest one, family. That's the one that's gonna help you to regain your mental strength. Is once you got that, and you maybe even learning and being able to recite the serenity prayer to yourself when you do feel out of control, that probably will be the best mechanism for you to start out with. If you're having a hard time with controlling the things or trying to be in control of everything, because I had to start doing that, because I was one of the people that wanted to control everything, But that's because a lot of things in my past was out of control. See? But you have to let that go. When you regain control over your life, then you have to understand that it's okay. Okay, I don't control everything, but just me. That's all I can do. Because if not, you're going to definitely be emotionally exhausted. I'm trying to control this person and that person and this situation and that and that and that. You're going to go crazy. Okay? So regain your strength mentally, family. All right? And use this video to go through the slides, stop it, write it down, screenshot it, whatever you got to do, family. The breathing techniques to ground yourself, and to know you got to let go. All right? You got to let go and let God sometimes, but you got to work with yourself. You got to help yourself first. Okay? Because here is the things. Okay? So help yourself first. It's all about overcoming the exhaustion, and it's not going to go away by you just sleeping and so forth. All right? So this today, family, is all about feeling emotionally drained. And I want you to sit with these slides. I want you to go through them. When you do feel emotionally drained, find you some coping techniques within this. Look back at that one about dwelling on the past and the serenity prayer. I should have put that in here, but I forgot to put it in here, but that's okay. Let me get it so I can say it, so you'll have it at least in this video. Hold on, family. Okay, family, I got it. All right. So the serenity prayer. It was trying to follow me. Oh, I didn't know. Christy, because I'm in a different space, family. It was trying to follow me. It was going with me. Well, I moved my desk so I wouldn't be on the other side of my apartment. Okay, so the serenity prayer, okay? God, Grant me the courage to change the things I can change, and the serenity to accept those I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. That is something that we should memorize, okay? And speak it to yourself, speak it over your life, whenever you're going through some type of mental exhaustion, okay? It's needed, all right? So, family, this was shadow work sessions in reference of being mentally and emotionally drained. Yeah. Yeah, you came right at the prayer, but that's okay. Rewind it back so you can watch the rest of it, okay? Because you may need it. It's a lot of us that's going through these things, okay? And I just want you guys to be able to tap in, understand that these things, and just to tap into how do you feel? How are you feeling with yourself? These are these techniques. These are the things that can help you. This is a explanation, a definition. This is to let you know. Okay. So I love you guys. All right. Once again, another shadow work sessions that I hope you guys can utilize, come back to. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Thursday night insight for your messages. Okay. And I'll be on the channel as well tomorrow. And what I did post is it for you today. And I posted Sade. So hopefully you guys enjoy that celebrity reading. You're welcome, Tangelus. You're welcome. So yes, family, and that is the end of shadow work sessions. I love you guys. Peace. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, and I will see you guys. Love you too. Good night. Good night. Peace, peace, peace to you guys. I love you. Bye. Love you too.